everybody, this is Michelle Fox and welcome back to The Simple Quilter. This is the October UFO challenge, and I have to say I didn't get near as much done as what I had hoped. So I have a little strategy I'm going to implement to help with that. And then I wanted to show you what I did get done. Now the quilt behind me, you all voted on the bindings last month. And I just tallied the results of that up today. I was just curious to see if red or black won over. And it was a tie, an absolute tie. I was amazed. But anyway, I did make a decision on the binding, and I went with red. It really turned out nice. I'm going to change the camera around a little bit and show you how the red turned out. So you can see it looks really nice. Really, really nice. And I do have the label on it as well. Now I do have to say, the reason I chose red, I was really struggling with red or black, and red's my favorite color, so I chose red. And the look is really, really nice. Okay, so this is the other UFO that I've been working on. And I did get the rows sewn together, and it is currently 7 wide and 6 down. Now, you know, if you've been watching my videos, I really do like larger quilts, and this one isn't as big as I thought. But I have a little bit of a dilemma because I'm just about out of the blue fabric. I don't even know the name of the fabric. So next time I'm going to save the selvages. When I start a new project again, I'm going to save the selvages. I mean, I save the selvages anyway, but I'm going to save the selvages of all the pieces that a fabric that I'm going to be using in a quilt if I have the selvage. And I'm going to put that in the box, you know, because I put each project in its own box, and I'm going to put that in there so that I will have a record of the name of each fabric in case I run out, because I don't know the name, and I've cut it into so many small pieces that, and I don't have the selvages, that, I mean, I'm just kind of out of luck as far as trying to find the fabric goes. I mean, there are some other strategies, and I've tried those. I've talked about how to find older fabric lines before, but right now I haven't been able to find this, and I'm not sure that I'm going to search much more. I'm just going to look through my stash and see what I have, but I'm going to show you the little bit that I have left. If you have an idea for what I can do to make this bigger. Now, I could add an accent border. I could add a bigger plain border. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do, and I really didn't want that look on this quilt. And who knows, I may just put a red binding on it and call it good. It's just not that big of a quilt, and I really like to make bigger quilts. So anyway, let me show you what I have left to work with for this quilt. Okay, so this is what I have left. See, I have several of these, but I only have just this little bit of this, and I'm really hoping I can eke enough of the blue out to make a few more blocks. I'm going to need, let's see, I'm going to need 7 more blocks. I'm not sure I can do it, but that's what I'm hoping to do. All right, I also just want to share this little tip with you. I don't know if it's going to help you or not, but it helped me as I was putting my binding together, and I want to show you what I did as I was putting the red binding on the other quilt I just showed you. Okay, so this is how I usually do my bindings. Okay, this is how I usually connect my bindings when I want a big long piece. I usually pin this like this and hold that in place. And then I put my ruler here, but I'm always having to put it over these pins. And I'm always working around the pins. Okay, so what I decided to do, I had just seen my fabric glue. So what I did is I took my fabric glue, and up here in the right hand corner, I just put a little bit, just enough to hold that on there, and to hold it secure enough that I could mark this without having to go over those pins, make my nice crisp line, and then I could sew without messing with the pins. And then when I trimmed up my binding piece and cut all this extra off, so that would be sewed already, and trim this off, I ended up cutting the glued part off, so I didn't have to worry about it being in my quilt. And that was just worked out so neat. So I just wanted to share that little tip with you. I really liked using the fabric glue. I don't even know what made me think of it other than it was sitting right there in my sewing machine when I went to get my little ruler out. And I thought, wow, I think I'll just use that. And it worked out pretty great. Didn't have to mess with those pins. And again, when I trimmed it, there's the glue holding it together, so I didn't have to worry about the fabric glue being in my quilt. Okay, so since I really didn't get as much accomplished as I wanted to, I decided I needed to implement one of the strategies that I typically use, but I just hadn't. I have a list of all my UFOs. You all have seen that. But I decided to make a list. So I labeled it UFOs to Address, and I just made a list of 4 things I really want to work on. I do have a quilt called Over the Hill and Through the Woods. That's a special quilt to me, and I'd like to get the binding and label on. This binding I'll sew on by machine and whip stitch it down by hand, and I need to add the label. And then I want to finish the top to my Irish chain if possible, or at least get all of the blocks done and sewn together. I want to go ahead and finish these. I want to turn this into a table topper and a hot pad, and then this one right here, I want to finish this table runner or wall hanging, whichever I choose to use it. I want to get those machine quilted, and I already know the pattern that I want to use to quilt it. I'm going to do some straight line and maybe some curvy line quilting on the larger piece. But I made this list, and I'm going to post it right there on the cabinet door by my sewing machine so I can see it easily. I enlarged the print so I just can't miss it. Wes and I will be going to the lake again before too long, and I want to have my 2 quilts ready to machine quilt. So I'm hoping that will help me get these 4 items accomplished for next month. So tell me in the comments below what you got finished. Post them on the Facebook challenge page that I have on my Facebook, and let me see what you've been working on. We can celebrate together. Even though I didn't get much done, I am going to celebrate the fact that I did get a couple of things done. And that big quilt was, I just have maybe 1 or 2 more that I need the binding on. I actually think I only have 1 more that's ready to put the binding on. So I feel good about this month. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Please share with a friend, and as always, leave a comment below. I love to get those comments, and I do try to reply to each and every one. So until next time, have fun quilting.